Good morning, gamers. Welcome back to another Path of Exile 2 Runes of Alder League build. This time we are doing burger stacking, aka strength stacking. This is a Gemling Legionnaire, as you can see up there, with the new Brutus lead sprinklers, two of them. This item's in PoE 1, and it's honestly not the greatest, but in this game it is absolutely crazy. First off, let's just explain why this is so good. This line on the bottom here, let me just pin that for you. The bottom line here, added attack fire damage per 25 strength. Now, in PoE 1, if you are familiar, this line after strength, it says with weapons, or with this weapon rather, which is very important distinction because that means it's only the weapon attack itself, like your main skill gem, not any added things like heralds or curses in this case, or external attacks, damage sources, etc. So this thing is quite insane at 906 strength. This probably adds, I don't know, I'll edit actually how much this adds into the overlay here somewhere, but it's a lot of damage to a one-hander, and then you can equip two of them. So yeah, that is the basis of the build. You want to get as much strength as possible while also getting a little bit of increased damage in places and penetration and all that stuff, but we'll go over that in just a moment. So like I said, 900 strength. These are my dex and int numbers. These do kind of matter because we have a node on the tree that has damage per our lowest attribute, so it definitely helps getting both of these up for that stat. Otherwise, we're life-based. See, we have like about 4.5k life. That is after we have the strength motes built up. These take a little bit to actually get to 15, and you lose them if you get hit. So we're not really 4.5k life in most scenarios, maybe about 4k or so since we have no evasion. But yeah, still feels pretty tanky even compared to the last build I played with all of the armor converted to Ellie and that sort of damage reduction layer. We're not really very armor focused here because we have a lot of uniques on. Honestly, doesn't feel that tanky, but otherwise we're at 76 res here, and that is from our chest piece lore weave, which we'll go over in a moment. I'll scroll through the stats here if you want to take a peek, but nothing too insane going on other than the strength stacking part of it. So yeah, let's get into the items very quickly, just because that will set up the tree to explain why I went with certain things. So as I said, we're going with the Brutus lead sprinklers, dual wield, so we can get double added value out of that attack fire damage per strength line there. And also we get 2 copies of this molten shower, and I'll show you what that does. It's kind of like molten strike in PoE 1. It shoots out a bunch of balls upon hitting with any of your attacks except for, you know, this one. So it doesn't actually chain itself, unfortunately, because that would be a literally infinite damage. But it shoots out 4 projectiles, which can be modified by projectile supports of any kind, and it has a really, really low cooldown time. Mine's at like 0.12 seconds because the quality has cooldown on it, and these do, you know, decent damage. I think at level 20 it's about 135% attack damage, but it shoots 4 of them, and it has really, really fast usage time. Like I don't feel the cooldown at all. So yeah, oftentimes this is just, you know, another 400% attack damage attack on top of what you're already doing. Worst case scenario. And then best case scenario, it's like multiply that by 5 for the cooldown uses in like a burst scenario. So yeah, and then you have another one of these. So you have 2 molten shower copies that are both going off every single time you attack. So the main skill we are choosing to build around is Sunder, because the alternate quality, should probably show these two. The alternate quality of Sunder on Gemling is more attack speed. Normally, this skill feels horrible. I don't know if you've ever clicked on this skill, but it feels super slow. But with the quality at 40%, look at this attack speed. This is just in town, no buffs, no rage, no nothing. I do run out of mana because it's very expensive with all the links, but you could easily run the less cost support gem efficiency, and it would be very comfy. Or just have a little bit of mana leech somewhere, and then or mana on kill. But yeah, so Sunder is very fast, very smooth, and it covers a decent area. And so that's like the main mapping and clearing ability that we have chosen for this one. I saw the alternate quality of Sunder, and I was like, you know what? This seems like it could be good, and honestly, it feels just like Path of Exile 1 Sunder. Although, that being said, this is the speed of Sunder in like Act 2 in that game. So, kind of a shock to be like, okay, finally I can play a Path of Exile 1 melee skill. I just need to be, level 80 to really feel that speed. But regardless, let's go back into the items here. So yeah, 2 Brutus sprinklers. I corrupted these for an extra socket or something else, and I got attack speed on this guy and another socket on here. Stat priority is obviously attack speed. You want that as high as possible. This rolls up to 10. And then I rolled probably like 20, or I searched 20-ish strength just so I could get that, because perfect one of these are pretty expensive. The fizz doesn't really matter too much because, for one, most of it gets converted, and for two, we don't really utilize it for leech at the moment. I don't feel like leech is very good unless you're either full fizz or you have some sort of Ellie can leech type thing going on. But yeah, so these are the weapons in here. The sockets, we got Spirit for 15 Spirit. This lets us run Time of Need, Blasphemy, and Herald of Thunder without needing like Spirit on Amulet or the body armor. So very nice there. A little bit more attack damage against rare and uniques, and then this one is just gain 5 as extra of all. Always good to put that in something if you can afford it. Helmet, we got the Black Sun Crest. This just has 15%, up to 15% increased of all different attributes, and I happened to get a perfect one, honestly. I don't know how this happened. I bought a 15 dex and strength one, and the int was like 14 or 13, and then I just runeforged it, corrupted it, tried to get another socket, and the int actually, divined upwards, and then, or it didn't divine, it increased to 16. So this is actually insanely lucky, although it's not really that needed. Like if I had a lower one, I would lose like, I don't know, 20 int. So it doesn't really matter. All I really wanted was the percent strength on here. There's definitely a case to use a rare helmet because those can get like, 30-ish strength base, and then you can also have like defensive stats like life, maybe some res, because I'm really strapped for res, and then you can put like up to 3, if you get an exceptional base, 3 sockets of the perfect strength rune. I just kind of went lazy on this whole build, to be honest, because it was honestly so powerful. I didn't really feel the need to upgrade a lot of the things and min-max everything, because, in traditional strength stacker fashion, you can go insane on the budget. Like, there are multiple divine items you can buy just to get like 5 more strength here or here or here, and it just gets out of control so fast. Like, if you want to just dump money, then set your sights on getting an attribute as high as possible, and that will keep you occupied for quite a while. But yeah, that's the helmet. Pretty good. And Astramentus, pretty standard for any attribute stacker. It has a boatload of attributes on here. Got up to 100 with the the base roll, and then you can quality it, you can corrupt it if you really are crazy. I allocated Paragon on here, which is a hidden notable for Anointing. Gives you quality to skills and 5 attributes. It's pretty much designed for Gemling, to be honest. It's like right under his tree, you know, right here. Next up, let's just take a gander at these rings here. Honestly, they are just resistance and as much strength as I could reasonably get. So this one has 44. This one has 44, and then all attributes, which is very good. Some nice res on here as well. So these pretty much just cover res, get a bunch of strength. These are where you could spend a lot of money. Very expensive potential here if you want to get, you know, 5 or 6 perfect affixes for the build. Currently, fire damage does nothing for me, and neither does the chaos damage, but that's okay. Chest piece, we got a lore weave. This is a very cool item. So this is made in this game by giving up 60 unique rings, and you can use duplicates and stuff. So the rings you put in kind of influence what you get out of it, and those are denoted by the bottom 3 lines here. So somebody put in the dream fragments for the chilled and frozen, and Blackheart, I believe, is on this one for the intimidate, which intimidate is 10% increased damage taken, so same debuff pool as shock, and then also 10 reduced damage dealt. So kind of a defensive layer, also an offensive layer, so very nice. And then cannot be chilled or frozen is absolutely lovely. You don't need to waste charms on it, you don't need to waste passive points on it, or any affixes to reduce like frozen duration or chill duration, stuff like that. Very, very nice quality of life. Additionally, this thing can roll up to plus 7 to quality of skills, but that is very rare. It's made by putting in a bunch of Venter's Gambles rings to try to influence this. So not only do you have to roll high on the quality, but you have to roll like good on the affixes. So those don't exist for what I was trying to do. But also, a good thing to note is your maximum resistances are, and then a value. So in PoE 1, this sets your resistances to something, and effects like that in both games cannot be modified further. So if you have any sources of minus to max res, which you can see on one of my runes here, this is a very popular leveling rune. Just gives 20 all res, but it also gives you minus max, so it's not good in the end game. However, with Lore Weave, I have 76 max res. I have that forever, always, unchangeable. It's a very good mod for also running like minus max res maps, because those just straight up don't affect you. So, pretty defensive item for not only running maps or putting these runes in, but gives you quality. Yeah, very, very good chess piece. There's a bunch of different combos you can do with these if you have, you know, a rough idea of what ring modifiers you would like. And the other modifier in here for the idols is the Fox idol. So idols socketed in this item gain the benefits of their bonded modifier. In the case of Fox idol, that just means plus 5 quality to skills. Okay. And gloves. We got Valakos Vice. These are used for 1, to give me a little bit more strength, 2, give me a little bit more attack speed, some res, and most importantly is to convert all my fire damage to lightning. So all of the Brutus damage that is added from strength will get converted to lightning damage. So that will let us utilize things like Herald of Thunder to apply shock and have those propagate outwards. Belt here is life, strength, res, basics. I would like to have another res here and then free up something else somewhere else, but you know, belts can get quite pricey if you're looking for something like this. And boots are pretty much stock standard: res, movement speed, strength. Yep. Life flask. Yep. Spam this thing. Instant recovery. Very nice. And then we got Arakali's Gift, yet again, immune to poison. I love this charm. Very, 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 very slept on, in my opinion. This gives us a little bit of ignite immunity sometimes. Immunity to bleeding. Not sure how prevalent bleeding is, but I'd rather just not be damaging ailmented ever if I can avoid it. And then we're going with the lasagna flask yet again. I probably will play this on every character ever made. I hate pushing mana flask, so yeah. And then in the offhand for our weapon swap, we're just parry abusing yet again. So we got a Dunkel Halt since we're not really a crit build. We got just a bunch of debuff magnitude. When we parry, I believe it's at 111% increase or more damage taken. I rarely ever need to press this because things die so quickly. And honestly, I often forget. But yeah, so that's the gear. Let's go ahead and hop into the tree here. So as I said, we are a Gemling Legionnaire, going with Virtuous Barrier because you have to, and then going up here for the Advanced Thaumaturgy, granting us additional effect from our gem quality. And this is pretty much one of the most versatile ascendancy nodes in the game. I believe you could play almost any skill on this class and it would be probably 90% of best in slot, you know. Over here you have this +2 levels of any attribute gem. So if you want to do an int build, boom. Dex build, boom. It's all here. +2 for free basically, unless you just, you know, want to do something else, but also comes with more quality. And then for the last point we took is just gem studded. So if you see on our skills page, we have perfectly balanced support gems. So we're getting all 3 of these bonuses. So currently I'm crit immune, my skills have 30 less cost, and I have 40 less movement speed penalty while I'm moving. Not the most relevant bottom line because melee skills usually stand still when they use their attacks in this game. So yeah, not the best thing, but if you're playing like a crossbow or something, that would feel so nice. So the tree is basically standard for strength stack. I have a little bit of spice in here, but yeah, we're just starting here on the Gemling, of course, and we're getting some proj damage. Going down here, all this is one-handed attack speed and one-handed damage stuff. A little bit of area and cooldown here for our time of need and our molten shower. More one-handed stuff there. Movement speed and attack speed if you killed recently. Pretty decent nodes. Some more cooldown here. And we got a From Nothing with Ancestral Bond, which is way over here. The totem guys. And we're only really using this to get 2 nodes right now. Not really anything else to grab in this range, but we're getting Dimensional Weak Spot. 15% chance to treat enemy res as inverted. We hit a lot of times, every time we attack basically, so one of those is bound to invert the res of something that has high res and do a bunch of damage, so definitely helps smooth out the damage curve there. And Dangerous Blossom for 10% of damage gained as extra fizz. Just another source of percent gained, pretty good. This can also be used if I had more spirit. I would probably try and do some sort of like Herald of Thunder, armor explosion, armor break thing, so I could like chain the heralds, maybe use Herald of Ice too, if that could work. Back down here, we're going to this Gem Enthusiast, so we're getting all these bonuses, 5 max life, 5 mana, 5 movement speed, along with some good strength nodes here. Going to these strength nodes. Now, I was taking this to get Ignite Immune for a while, but once you go Final Ascendancy of Gemling, it's just better to balance your gems. And then this nice attribute wheel, we're getting Polymathy, so percent attributes, always nice. And the most, I think this is like the second most damaging node on the tree for our increased damage source, Jack of all trades, so per 5 of our lowest. Our lowest is currently int at 219, so that's about, I don't know, it's an amount of damage. Going over here, getting this attack speed and damage against unique enemies. Going over here to the Jewel Socket. On here, Megalomaniac, we got a Flash Storm Behemoth combo. So Flash Storm is 15 Lightning Pen as well as Chance to Shock. It's also literally right here. And then Behemoth is max life, area, and then 5% chance for slams to do an additional aftershock. And then finally going up here for just generic percent Ellie pen, and then Ellie damage with flask effect, and we're always under a flask since we have the lasagna. So that's the right side of the tree. Let's go ahead and go left. We have more cooldown, more area, just attack area damage, stuff like that on our weapon set 1. Similarly, weapon set 1 is our main dual wield setup, and weapon set 2 is the parry setup, so it's pretty much the same stuff. It's skill duration, parry magnitude, and then the other side is just like this one-handed damage type stuff, because we never attack on the parry setup. And yeah, going over here, getting the jewel socket, another Heart of the Well build, of course, cooldown, lightning, recover max life on kill. This is our sustain outside of time of need procs, and getting this rage goodies, getting armor as Ellie. I honestly should drop this at this point. I was doing this pretty early when I had more defensively armor pieces, but now these really don't do much, so I might drop these for either more damage or a different type of defensive layer. Not really sure. But yeah, going over here to brute strength. This is probably, oh, this is definitely the highest percent damage source on our build. 1% damage per 15 strength. Very nice. Going up here to get the this mace wheel. This is just damage with maces and some aftershock things for our Sunder and hammer. So these two don't directly affect Molten Shower, which is okay, but they do benefit our other skills. And then sometimes if we heavy stun an enemy, we get 20 more damage. Could be relevant. Most things just die before they get heavy stunned anyway. And then traveling way up here to a jewel socket for tech damage, damage pens, lightning, and then percent strength. The percent strength is a abyss desecrated mod, and in my experience, this is kind of rare. There's a lot of jewel suffixes, and there's also percent of every other attribute if you even roll the table for the abyss mod. So yeah, kind of a gamble to get these, but you know, hey, look what game we're playing. Going over here, getting this jewel socket of a Medved Heroic Tragedy. The actual Medved line doesn't matter. I was trying out Circular Teachings. This gives you percent armor per 2 dex. However, your dex doesn't give you any bonus, which in this case, it's accuracy rating. And if you look here, I get like, 3,000-ish armor. However, my damage goes way down because my accuracy is atrocious. Like, I think my chance to hit even at 0 meters, like with a melee attack, was like 96%, which, if you put that on a ranged ability at 7 meters or 9 meters, you're probably looking at a 70% chance to hit or even worse. So this was pretty much untakeable after a couple maps of testing it, so yeah. But that wasn't really the main focus. The main focus was getting these nodes, rest control. It's 40% lightning damage and 15 strength. So this ends up being pretty much better than anything on the entire tree, to be honest. So I got lucky on this one, 5 strength, and then the rest control. I also got one here where beef normally is, since we're going there anyway. And please ignore this circle thing. I was going to actually spec these 3 nodes, because we got Rune Knight here, which is melee damage for 40%, which is amazing. And then, of course, Green Tree, we're just doing skill duration again for the parry debuff. All right, let's go explain some of these abilities here. So, okay, so most of the gems in here you can completely ignore, because 90% of them are used exclusively to balance out the colors. So we want all 3 of the colors to be exactly equal. So let's just ignore all the ones that I don't use. Mace Strike, ignore it. Molten Shower, these are real. So these are both the same exact links. We have Retreat 3, Conk Area, Elite Armament 2, Shock, and Lightning Attunement. Go ahead and just show you this tooltip if you want to scroll through it. We are, of course, not crit at all. We have 7 crit. We have just standard multi. It's pretty hard to do crit and shrink stack unless you're something like Oracle where you just always crit. But yeah, these do a nice amount of damage. This is, I think this is damage per ball if I'm not mistaken. Not really sure how this calculates. I often just like ignore tooltips anyway and just see what actual in-game stuff looks like. Of course, we have parry. These are not really relevant except for prolonged duration. Voltaic barrier. This skill is actually kind of cool. I stole this tech from Rutu and with his auto bomber. If you put, so normally what the skill looks like is this. So here it is, Voltaic barrier. Puts up a little fence, kind of like flame wall, except it's lightning, and then you can like shoot projectiles through this, and they'll gain damage equal to your weapon. However, what you can do, you can't normally put Calm's Madness in here, right? But you can put on Citadel, which I guess makes it turn into a Fisher skill like this. So a line of them, right? And then, since now the skill creates a Fisher, technically, you could put Calm's Madness in there. And then it looks like this. Yeah, and each one of these is a hit. So, does that count for Molten Shower? It does. It very much does. So, even though we have a we're not attacking, you know, what's this? 0.12 cooldown? We're not going to attack that many times per second with Sunder, right? So this will help you, you know, reach the critical mass, so to speak, of proccing Molten Showers per second. And then we just have Blazing Critical in here again to, you know, maybe we'll crit with it, who knows, and just balance out the things. So this is a nice single target option. If you're really lazy, you just go boom, probably hits the whole map. Molten Showers fly everywhere, do their thing. Pretty cool skill. You do need a little bit of Runic Ward. I think it costs 76 with the reduced cost. You can always do reduced cost in here, like the actual gem. You probably only will need 1 Runeforged piece. I currently have it on Loreweave and the helmet here. All right, next up we got Sunder. So like I said, alternate quality is more attack speed. Boom, 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 boom. In here we got attack speed, rapid attacks, Vorana's Siege, a little bit more area, a little bit more to isolated targets, branching fissures. This makes it do like this little spread stuff. It's kind of hard to see in here, but yeah, like occasionally they'll shoot off to the sides a little bit, and it makes for nice clear. You could also do, I think you can do Calm's Madness if you don't use this, right? Yeah. So you could do something like that, where it shoots out a big wave and hits a lot more in a cone, but you also lose attack speed since it has less skill speed on here, so it feels kind of bad to do that while mapping. Close combat and rage. This is our only rage generator in the build currently, since my gem doesn't have it, or my jewel doesn't have it, but this is a good enough setup so far. Hammer of the Gods up next. So the alternate quality on this is actually chance to not consume glory, which can be raised to 100% if you get 40 total quality. That does mean you can just spam Hammer of the Gods, as you might have been seeing in those clips. So in here we have less duration, just makes it drop faster. Aftershock chance, Xerxes Infamy, very important one. This lets you gain glory from spending life on other skills, and they also do a crap ton more damage, 50 area, and this is like the main way we generate glory, since we literally don't heavy stun enemies pretty much ever. So very good. Close combat and armaments. Leap Slam. This is actually a very important gem. We have Pursuit here, just to, you know, balance out some res, or balance out some gems. Important though is Life Tap. So this converts to life cost, and Fistivore 3, not relevant, but the multiplier is huge. It's 200%. So this makes us cost 210 life currently. And if you'll see on my Hammer of the Gods, when I am spending life, it'll charge up. So I leap Slam once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, and 7 times. And then we have Hammer of the Gods, which is actually infinite. I could do this until the servers go down in 6 months. Beautiful. As long as you have the glory, it will never expire it. So you can just spam these if you want a map like this. That is a-okay with me. In fact, I encourage it. Okay. So Forge Hammer is cosmetic. It's not even on my bar anywhere. These supports don't matter, but this is where I store my efficiency if I wanted to like hot swap with a with Sunder, one of the Sunder skills. Seismic Cry is also pretty cosmetic. It kind of has some merit being like Echoing Cry and Raging Cry. Occasionally you can just like press this. It is an attack technically, so if you really want to use this to proc your Molten Showers, you can. I have probably never done that in my life, but yeah. And then my favorite skills, the Spirit skills. We have Herald of Thunder. This is a alternate quality of increased lightning damage. Not the greatest, but better than nothing. Armament. In here we got Elemental Armament. We have Elemental Focus. We have Conk Area, Long Shot, and Lightning Attunement. This thing actually hits quite hard. You know, up to like 12k max hit. So pretty good for clearing. Also just procs your Molten Shower, which is why we have a bunch of the shock chance on the Molten Showers, because Herald of Thunder comes down, hits the enemy gets hit, so they proc Molten Shower. Molten Shower comes up, the balls come down, hit the enemy, shock them, repeats. So it's like an infinitely chaining proc chain of Herald of Thunder and Molten Shower. Very nice. And then, honestly, I'll probably use Time of Need in every build ever made, because this thing is absurdly good. We have a cooldown of like about 4 seconds, so every 4 seconds I heal instantly 783 life. This bypasses like reduced recovery rate on maps or some sort of no regen if that exists. Very good. Also removes your ailments and curses, so don't really have to worry about temp chains maps or LE weakness maps, any of that shit. Right? Very good. And last one, we have Blasphemy. Alternate quality here is res efficiency, I think. Is there an alt quality of this? There should be. Maybe there isn't. But, oh yeah, alt quality of this is regen rate. But yeah, so Blasphemy with 40 quality is 20% res efficiency. This costs like 50 spirit. And in here we're using Repulsion, which is it's technically a hit as well. So by itself, this plus Molten Shower can chain indefinitely, assuming you have enough, cooldown recovery and the enemy doesn't die instantly, because they'll get cursed. Your Molten Shower will hit them. The curse will proc. They'll get hit. Molten Shower will go off. They'll get cursed again while the molten projectiles are in the air. Boom. Infinite damage loop. It's not the craziest amount of damage, since we don't have 8 trillion strength, but for clearing, it kind of just pops off. And then linked to this, we have Mag Area, Living Lightning, so more ways to trigger Repulsion automatically without needing to manually go up and smack every enemy with Sunder. This will just run around. These guys will just run around and start proccing it for you. Very cool. And then Focus Curse along with Ritualistic Curse. Just more area on this one, and then this one lets Repulsion activate on them quicker. Even though you're in Blasphemy, the curse still has an activation delay, which can be modified by Focus Curse. Okay, that is all the yapping that I want to do. Let's go ahead and do a map real quick. I have a Jade Isles ready for me, and I'm feeling like I'm going to get a Rockiatas. So let's do it. On here we just got some extra res, extra damage as lightning, poison, yeah, whatever. Just a standard T15, nothing crazy. I'll probably do most things in here, unless if we get like a ritual, I'll probably skip it. But yeah, gameplay is pretty straightforward. You just kind of run around, see some enemies, hit them with the right click. You see the molten balls are flying everywhere, and you know they're dying. It's very good for dense stuff, even though you can't really see fucking anything. But and you know what? I'm actually going to switch my. Let's see. Let's switch Viranas. Let me do less cost for let's see, for that. Just kind of running out of mana a lot. I don't really want to run out of mana. So you see the repulsions going off and Herald of Thunder's going off. It's just crazy. And here's the bosses. I'm going to throw down my voltaic fence thing, and you can see I'm not even attacking right now. It's just the proc of the fence and the repulsion going off. So honestly, if you want to do like a Rutu auto bomber build, look that up. You press literally no buttons, but contrary to popular belief, I love pushing buttons. So I don't think I'll ever enjoy one of those type of builds. I kind of mess with it a little bit in here with having like the Living Lightning type of procs and the Herald of Thunder, but that's more of like just clear automation and not just pure I'm pushing no buttons type thing. So yeah, it's pretty damn smooth. Like the Sunder attack speed feels so snappy. It's just like, yeah. Get to the elite guys, throw it on the fence. They're just taking infinite damage. Done. Pink. Nice! Oh, look at those boots, guys. Anyone want those? I'll sell them to the first person to comment. Let me charge up my Hammer of the Gods for you guys. Dude, this thing hits. There we go. Hammer of the Gods time. Cast it. Big booms. It's not honestly the most efficient way to kill enemies, but, you know, when have I ever been efficient? Yeah, let's go ahead and find the boss here. We had literally every mechanic jammed in the doorway. I'm trying to get my Rakiata's flow right now, you know? That could be a Mage Blood. Did I do it? Yeah, it's going to be a Mage Blood. Here we go. We got the Hammer of the Gods spam going on. Honestly, when I realized you could do this, I kind of pivoted all of my build ideas. Never lucky, no Mage Blood. Oh yeah, this is the auto bomber style when you get this shrine. Whoa, 1 billion damage, guys. That's crazy. Look at that. See, this is like auto bomber gameplay right here. Pretty boring. I like to click them. First Weaver, eh? Anybody else unable to see where the hell these rogue exiles are? Must have found them. Let's skip the rune monolith. Nah, I'm not. Throw some hammers. Get them queued up, you know. Throw it on my voltaic barriers. And dead. It's a lot of damage. Tink. Yo, streamer luck. This could be Rakiata's flow, guys. I'm actually just ready for it. It's about time. Give me the gem. See, my hammers do like 300k each. Pretty damn good. I don't even know what's happening. I can't even see him. Yeah, if you want a visual clarity build, don't play this. Must admit, can't see anything ever. Anybody else love this cutscene where you just like run away and you have to chase him and you get knocked down and then it's great. Charge up my hammer again. Recast on him. Just give me the gem, old man. Put the gem in the bag. Then you got some role play. Give me the gem. Give me it. No. Never lucky. What is this crap? No, totems. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next build. Bye.